There once was a time that brave Caledonia, the chief of her line, from some of your northern deities sprung. Bold, independent, unconquered and free, her bright course of glory forever shall run, for brave Caledonia immortal must be.
So wrote our poet and fierce patriot Rabbie Burns, who lived in the early aftermath of what was a new experience for Scotland, the union of the Scottish and English Parliaments in 1707. 292 years later, recognising the distinctiveness of our country and its people, devolution came to Scotland and Caledonia's Parliament returned home.
I think the Scottish Parliament has become extremely significant in Scotland's public life and is becoming more so.
This year, every Scottish voter has the opportunity to elect representatives to the Scottish Parliament and to their local council.
The essence of democracy is that people can elect and change their governments. And for Christians, voting is not just an important duty, but it has to be a sacred duty, because it is important to whom we entrust the government of our country.
I do think it's important that the Christian community in Scotland feels that their voice is being heard in the corridors of power.
We should be listening to what candidates are saying. We should be looking at manifestos. We should be attending the meetings and trying to vote for those people that best reflect what we think is important in society.
Motivated by his Christian faith, Gordon MacDonald has been involved in local politics for more than 15 years and is now standing as a candidate for the Scottish Parliament in this year's elections.
People often see standing for election as something that they wouldn't want to get involved in, but in fact it's about being a servant to the community. It's the public service ethos, and that seems to me to be part of the gospel, about being servants to our neighbours. At a practical level, we want a prosperous and healthy country, but it's more than that. We want a country which is spiritually healthy as well. And it's important, I think, that our Christian value base is not neglected and forgotten. I'm concerned that Christian values are applied within our society, and that's what motivates me in my political career.
It's absolutely vital to have Christians in politics. It brings a different perspective to the work of the Parliament, to the work of councils, to the work of the constituency. So I think it's important that Christians stand up and be counted and are part of our political establishment.
Helena Brackenridge, though until now an inexperienced politician, sees politics as the arena in which her Christian views can have the most impact.
I'm youth rep on the Scottish Executive Committee of the Labour Party. I've been involved in politics for about 4.5 years. I've been involved in various positions within the Scottish Labour Party, and right now I'm number 4 on the West of Scotland list. The more Christians get involved in the policy processes of the parties, the more they're going to be listened to and their voices are going to be heard.
Although every 4 years Scotland's electorate is encouraged to make their choice at the ballot box, the relationship with elected members can and should be a continuing one.
We would encourage Christians to engage with the political process, locally, perhaps nationally. Get to know the candidates, get to know the elected members, develop some sort of relationship between them, between your church and the candidates. Not only be aware of what they represent, but try to ensure that they know what you represent, what you stand for.
Come and see me. Come into my office, phone the office and ask to come and visit me. Invite me to your church group, invite me to your whatever you've got going on, whether it's a mother and toddler or an old folks group or a prayer meeting or a discussion group. Invite me along.
It does make a real difference to you if you're involved in a serious and difficult debate to get emails and letters and phone calls from people saying, we think you're doing the right thing and keep at it. So active support as well as prayer is very much appreciated.
Think about your members of Parliament, all members of Parliament across all the parties. They are human beings. Pray for members of Parliament, pray for their families. I know that I have a group of ladies who pray for me, and believe me, it does matter. And the power of prayer is very effective.
Prayer can do things, can have results that political action just fails to achieve.
This year, on the 3rd of May, every Scottish voter should have a say in Scottish Parliament and local council elections. As always, the real question is, what kind of Scotland do we want?
We should think about life beyond what we experience day to day and think about the future and think about what we're leaving as an inheritance as a society for the people who are going to come after us. And I think that Christians can play a fundamental role in doing that.
One of the aims of this campaign that we're running in the run-up to the Scottish elections is that Christians can be inspired by the potential of the gospel, can be informed about the policies and the issues, and be involved in the political process.
Make sure your voice is heard. Make the cross count.